And what we agreed on was we have to make sure that the person delivering the medication is a pharmaceutical technologist who will do the counseling at the point of delivery. So you will find that all the medication at MyDawa at the moment are being delivered by a farm tech who comes, delivers the medication.
So a boda that is a farm tech?
Yes.
For it?
And I can yes, and we are the only ones doing that. And we are the only ones with the e-pharmacy license. We all know, we all have a boda guy who delivers medication. We all know it's happening. But for prescription medication, it is OTC and prescription medication. OTC is over-the-counter medication. You can deliver with a normal guy. But for prescription medication, we use a farm tech, who now comes to the point of delivery and he has to give you the counseling required. You take this 2 times a day, avoid this, do this, etc. So the regulation you see right now, PPP, around delivery of medication, we co-created that together. They were very interested in how we are doing it.
This is the pharmacy board?
Yes, PPP. And then the other thing I've learned the hard way also when I was at Global was make friends before you meet them, especially when it comes to regulation. So before you know what they are up to, start engaging them, even if there's no agenda, just have those friends so that at least they'll put you in the room whenever those conversations are happening.
So having a seat at the table?
Yes, exactly.
Not on the menu?
Not on the menu.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Stella, you would like to add on something? As you add on to that, I also have a question for you. Innovation and dominance. How do you, as an organization, balance these two? And I want to provoke the audience here today and actually tell them that Safaricom is not the monster that you think it is. It's actually a very friendly platform. Did you know today you have 80,000 software engineers that plug onto that Daraja platform? Is that correct?
Very true, yes.
Every day, that create opportunities across the board. So, having said that, you've got this dominance conversation that continues to go on. I mean, M-Pesa has 90% market share plus, right? How do you, every day, how do you balance that? How do you make sure that my order from GoBeba's platform is seamless? I can make that payment without getting out of that WhatsApp platform, while at the same time not crashing GoBeba. I know that's why we're here.
Thank you for asking the hard question. And to be fair, so really, I cannot answer that question without telling the spirit of investment. And I know majority of the people in the group probably know where investment came from. It first started as a platform to transfer money up country. So the challenge we were trying to address at first started with the person was just how would you get your 2,000 shillings, your 500 shillings to your mom up country when you're working here. Before it used to be such a hectic thing, you probably give a bus driver to take you there, sometimes you wouldn't even know if you got to them or not. So M-Pesa came in to address that specific issue. But with the continued use of the platform, then came other use cases, where you see now, people are now using the platform to send money to a merchant. You're buying something from your mama boga and you send money to them, right? And in now, just listening to what consumers were looking at, what they were using the platform for, then we transitioned to try and address those specific issues. Lipa na M-Pesa came up. Along the way, we also realized that consumers could actually be sending money and maybe you miss a digit or something, you're distracted, and you end up sending money to the wrong person. What did M-Pesa do? We responded with Hakikisha to make sure that we are actually moving with consumers, listening to what the challenges are on the ground and responding accordingly. And that is what I call innovation, responding to everyday challenges, trying to address the issues and actually embed. And one of the things that drives the company is transforming lives, which is the purpose that we are actually about. We are trying to transform the Kenyan lives, and that is what we've done this far. And part of that is also embedding and also, I'd say, coming together with other developers with the Daraja project. As you rightly said, we have 80,000 developers currently plugged into our Daraja API, which allows them to give you those everyday solutions without necessarily having to go through the cumbersome process of being onboarded on M-Pesa. We are trying to respond to the everyday consumer. And one thing that we could not have done without is regulatory goodwill. I know it looks like it's impeding, but sometimes when you explain what it is that you're trying to do, and they understand the angles of this is the problem, this is how we're trying to solve it, sometimes they do come through for you. Because that is how we ended up starting M-Pesa without a regulatory framework, which ended up playing catch up. As the first panel rightfully said, majority of the time regulation plays catch up with what is already happening in the market. It's a similar story I've had from MyDawa as well. You have a solution, but you need regulators to just give you that trust. Let us do, even if it's within a sandbox, allow us to do it and then understand. So in terms of competition, we also try to uplift the Kenyan person, right? So could be, it is the merchants who are using our platforms, it is the everyday consumer who's using our platforms to send money to their family or to pay bills or whatever it is, but that is at the center of it is transforming lives and the purpose. Thank you.
So thank you so much. Prof, to you.
Okay, thank you so much. First, let me try and just give a bit of our view as consumers, the Consumer Federation of Kenya.
Okay.
The first one is to understand that as consumers, any regulation that is brought into bear has a cost element. That cost element is finally passed on to consumers. So one of the things that we need to be highlighting is that as we speak now, there is a lot of already existing laws, and I wish the gentleman on the competition authority was still here to listen to this, because I was really hoping to stand here. There is existing laws that can truly regulate and control unfair competition, all right? And the supply dominance the professor here inherited. For example, and I liked the way Ali, you highlighted the concept of Microsoft and Netscape. Netscape Navigator was destroyed by Microsoft because of Microsoft's dominance in the US market on the software system. And it was too late. By the time the DOJ got their $800 million of fine on Microsoft, Netscape Navigator had already made. So anytime we have a dominant organization in a market, however good the sounds, however nice sounding names they give, they always suppress competition. And it is an automatic behavior. It is not something that they sit and plan to do. It is something that you do automatically to protect your space as a human being. Just like the way we are seated here, I'm protecting this little space around me. The minute you start coming in, I will definitely defend myself. That is why competition and innovation go hand in hand. So some few things that might come up and be done by an organization that is dominant in an area, they will be sounding innovative. They will be talking about how good they are doing. But the other people who would have come in and brought in even better innovation are killed at the inception. So that's one of the things that we want to highlight, that you have to balance between innovation and regulation. Why? Because the consumer is always the beneficiary of innovation. Let me give a good example of what M-Pesa did when it was introduced. The cost of sending money up country dramatically reduced. those of you, all of you who are here, majority of you are 2 years, we used to send money in brown envelopes, especially for people who are Western Kenya. You are sending it through Samaria Mwema. Yeah, there was a vehicle by that name. And M-Pesa immediately reduced the cost of doing so. All right? Now, if we have other platforms enabling more and more innovation, believe you me, the costs of transferring money will come down dramatically. But it cannot come down when there is one dominant body staying there. So that's one of the things that we wanted to highlight. The other one that we want to see, and we are very concerned about the regulatory body that is working, is that it did not require the Department of Justice in the US to take action on Microsoft by having a new law. No, they use the existing law to identify where the dominance is coming, why you are suppressing competition, so that Microsoft now stopped their behavior, which was predatory, all right? And it allowed now the Googles you're talking about to actually come up. If the DOJ never took action on Microsoft, we will not be having Facebook, we will not be having Googles and so on. It is that action they took that enabled the other bodies to now come and bring in new products that are innovative and creative. So that is one of the things that
so Prof, I'll come back to you. I think you've raised some very, very important points which align with a number of the things that I actually think about on a daily basis. Let me ask my audience planner, is there a burning comment, a burning question among you before I come back to my panelists? I'd like this to be as engaging as possible so that we just don't seem to be the ones talking here. Any burning question or comment? Yes.
My name is Beatrice Wedera, and I'm the Executive Director and Owner of Young and Growing Initiative Kenya and the Red Bus Movement of Kenya. I am youth by virtue, and this question and comment I'll direct to the lady there from Safaricom. You've talked about Hakikisha, and I would like to kind of just help you review your Safaricom's and M-Pesa's working relationship between you and the banks. Why? Because I think Hakikisha works for only Safaricom or when you're sending money to MSPs, other mobile service providers. But I don't think the relationship between you and the banks are quite efficient. Why? Because less than 4 weeks ago, I lost about 10,000 shillings because I confused a number in my phone number. I was sending the money to myself, and I did confuse. I have a dyslexic problem, so you understand, I went to another person. So where was I withdrawing it from? I was withdrawing it direct from the bank. So had I had it in my M-Pesa and reversed, it would have worked. Another similar situation was last year. I was paying.
So sorry to interrupt you. So
yes, the relationship, kind of like a request to have Safaricom review your Hakikisha platform to be efficient between you and the banks, not between you and Safaricom, but you and the banks.
Okay.
It's not a blame on passing, it's because the bank cannot do anything on that end. And also the pay bill. I'm proceeding to the last question, I'm really sorry if I'm taking your time. The other one is on the pay bill platform as well. It does not work when you send money to the tills that belong to other banks and you try to reverse. It does not work, it does not bring back your money. The other comment is on consumer protection in terms of age. When you're doing your target on analysis, not Safaricom, but all these applications that have us seeking services online. When you're doing your target analysis on who you're targeting, there is an aspect of, in a number of years, in a decade, this person will be of a different age, and some of you retain information and make advertisements in future or products in future that will be still targeting the same TA that we had 10 years ago or 5 years ago. As you review that, and again to Safaricom, some of your products are not age respecting, and I mean that because at one point I was a blazer. Now I understand the agency offers in your data packets and you know those bundles. But at one point, I'm again now being asked to join a prepaid platform, and they keep on calling and calling and calling and calling. So how am I protected from my age? Because my age is a problem. Why? Because of the rates at which you are giving my age. And when I compare to how my parents, the rates and kind of services you're giving to my parents, with 100 bob, I cannot afford data for a day. But for my mother with 50 shillings, she can afford data for 24 hours. How exactly do you protect us from your automated systems that actually take more from us than give us quality for our services?
Ourselves, so that we don't allow the law to be passed without our participation. Thank you.
Gigi, thank you very much for that clarification. And it's very, very key, guys, because we don't have much time. So we need to refocus our questions and our comments on the conversation that we are having. Peter, you have 1 minute, and I'm going to cut you off after that.
Okay, thanks, Andy. Introduce yourself. Peter Moita from Aga Khan University Graduate School.